What's up, you living environment fans? It's Monday, and we really are getting. Next week is the Regents exam, right? We've got today, and then we've got the rest of this week, and then Monday and Tuesday of next week to get ready for it. So today we're going to look at cell cycle and mitosis versus meiosis, and that kind of stuff. You might remember that as we review for the Regents as the countdown begins. Hey, and don't forget, this week we also have our final book talk. So I know you've been reading one of those 4 books, or maybe you picked one of your own. On Wednesday of this week, you'll be able to share with me your impressions of the first 100 pages or the whole book, depending on what you've read. So if you're a little behind in reading, that's something you need to put on your to-do list for Wednesday, right? All right, Bellringer.
All right.
Hey now.
Mr. Kovacs class. It's Mr. Kovacs class. You might learn on time. It's Mr. Kovacs class.
He's interested too.
It's Mr. Kovacs class.
And he's super cool.
It's Mr. Kovacs class.
Chromosomes. In humans, how many of them are there? That's right, 46 or 23 pairs, right? And they come in pairs. You only see chromosomes during mitosis. Here's an animal cell. This is a whitefish blastula cell. You can see the little squiggly lines of chromosomes. This cell must be in mitosis. It must be actively copying its nucleus to make 2 new cells. Mitosis. Here's a plant cell. Again, you can see individual chromosomes in the lines. You can see chromosomes. That means that cell's in mitosis. It is actively copying itself to make 2 new cells, 2 new daughter cells that will have the same DNA as the parent cell. If you remember, I did with you what I called mitosis tai chi. It started with the cell doing its normal business. This is called interphase. And it gets the signal, tell it to first replicate, copy all of its chromatin. So interphase, replication, right? Now you can sort out your chromatin into chromosomes, prophase, line them up in the middle, metaphase, pull them apart, anaphase, 2 separate piles, telophase, and then split the cell in half, and you've got 2 new cells in interphase. You only see chromosomes during mitosis. So in a cell life cycle, right, the cells are born, they live in interphase. I call that doing the hokey pokey because that's what it's all about. This is when cells are making proteins and doing transcription and translation and all that good stuff is going on, and then they get the signal, and the signal tells that cell of one of 2 things is going to happen. One is you're going to copy all of your chromatin and then go through mitosis and birth 2 new identical cells, or believe it or not, the other thing is kill yourself. That's called apoptosis, and it happens all the time. Apoptosis, destruction of cells, self-destruction. It's the example of a tadpole turning into a frog, right? The tail of the tadpole doesn't just fall off. It slowly gets shorter and shorter because those cells dismantle themselves. And then the pieces of those cells are then reused in other cells to make legs in the frog. So apoptosis is what's happening to remove the tail of the tadpole. It doesn't just fall off. So mitosis in the cell cycle, you copy the chromatin first, then you organize your chromosomes so that you get 2 identical sets in each of the new daughter cells. Right? That's how we repair cells. That's how we replace worn out cells, those kinds of things. In other organisms, mitosis and just copying cells is how you make new individuals. Like amoebas are a great example. New individuals are made by going through mitosis and splitting, and you've got 2 daughter cells that are identical to the parent cell. Right? That's how most one-celled organisms copy themselves. It's called asexual reproduction, just copying yourself. There's advantages to asexual reproduction. One is you don't have to find a partner. You just got to do the splits, right? 2, you know what you're going to get. Like, if conditions are good for you, when you split into 2 daughter cells, conditions are guaranteed to be good for your daughter cells, right? Because they're exactly like you. They're clones. right? There's advantages to asexual reproduction. Really, the only disadvantage of asexual reproduction is that if there's no variation, so if conditions change rapidly, there's less likely that some individuals will be more likely to make it than others. Another one that's true is that mutations that show up, right, in a parent, we're guaranteed to show up in their offspring. So if you have a harmful mutation, you're guaranteed to pass that on. Sexual reproduction, it's got the advantage of mixing genes and covering up those harmful mutations. We'll talk more about that tomorrow when we talk about sexual reproduction. All right, but today, mitosis and asexual reproduction, that's our theme for today. Let's have a good day and get ready for the regents.